Hello, my beautiful people. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a lovely weekend. Mine was dope. Today, I would like to talk about manipulation. We have heard this word a lot. What does it mean to manipulate? What is a manipulator? So, manipulation is coercive behavior driven by the goal of exploiting or controlling another person for your own personal gain. It is also defined as control or influence of a person or situation cleverly, unfairly, or unscrupulously. Um, so, what are the stages of manipulation? Or manipulation is used to affect one's perspective of themselves in relationship with the world. Honestly, it a form of emotional abuse, psychological abuse, honestly, because these people, they play with your head, they mess with your head, they find a way to distort your sense of reality for their own personal gain, you know. And if they cannot manipulate you, it usually does not end well. What are the four stages of manipulation? Four stages of manipulation. Number one is flattery. We may sometimes confuse flattery with compliments, but the difference between flattery and a compliment is that flattery usually is a compliment used to manipulate you. It's for their own personal gain, you know. So like being extra nice to your boss just because maybe you want something, or you know what I mean. Like, there's always something at the end of the day that person wants from you. Number two is isolation. This person starts to isolate you from your friends, from your family, from your support system, and it starts to look like they want to put you in a way that it's just me and you. They manipulate you in a way that everybody else is wrong, everybody else is against us, and they don't understand us. They don't understand you like I do. So it's just me and you against the world and nobody else, right? And anything that happens between me and you, don't tell anyone. I don't like that. I don't want to be in a relationship where people tell all my business. You know, that's a form of manipulation. Devaluation and gaslighting. This is a person who, at this point, a person may make you start to feel guilty or confused. You know what I'm saying? They might tell you that you're ungrateful and you're making me unhappy. You know, they start to mess with, again, your sense of reality. And then the purpose of this stage is to make you doubt yourself, doubt your instincts and your decisions. You know, and when you start to doubt yourself, then they know they're in. You know what I mean? Whew. I've been in that situation, and it's like, wait, am I crazy? Am I crazy? You know? The worst. The last is fear or violence. So you are scared. This person manages to put you in a place that you're afraid to lose them. You're afraid, basically. You're afraid of either them, you're afraid they may hurt you, or they're afraid they might leave you, and they use that, you know? And okay, so what are tactics? Manipulation tactics, there's just a few. Guilt tripping is number one. When someone makes you feel guilty for your own actions or decisions, that's often, they like to use leverage, right? I did this for you, so you shouldn't do this. I did this for you. I paid for your school, so you can't want to move. I drove 100 miles to come see you, so you must provide, you know what I mean? You must do this for me because I did that for you. You know? It's like, it's very frustrating because I feel like I've been meeting a lot of manipulators lately, and it's very frustrating. But number two is projection. They project, that means that they claim an emotion that they're feeling, right? And they claim that you're the one who is feeling that way, right? Like, so an example is like a cheater, right? A person who is cheating is constantly always gonna accuse you of cheating just because that's something that they're doing. They're projecting because they know what they're doing, right? Love bombing. There are some people who tend to manipulate by love bombing, which means that when you're in a fight, when you're in a bad place, they start to give you excessive love, excessive gifts, compliments, affection, time. You know what I mean? um, I know someone that I have an ex-boyfriend that every time we would fight, that's when he would tell me he loves me. Or if we get into a big fight, then we go for dinner after. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, manipulation, manipulation, manipulation. Why do people manipulate others? Number one is control, low self-esteem, ego for personal gain, and avoidance. People don't want to deal with their own, so they tend to, you know what I mean, to project on other people. And another tactic of manipulation that I forgot to mention is the silent treatment. There's a lot of people who like to use the silent treatment to get what they want, right? So I'm not going to talk to you because you're not doing what I want, and I'm not going to talk to you until you do what I want. That is a sign of manipulation, you know, and it's horrible. It's horrible. So signs of manipulation. How do you know that you are being manipulated? Number one is you have this gut feeling. You know, I recently talked about that. You have this feeling in your gut, and it tells you there's something wrong with this, but you try to ignore it. You know, and then you start to question your choices. Like, is it me? Am I the one who's like doing this? But you know what the problem is. But because this person has messed with your sense of reality, you start to question your gut. You start to question what you know. You know, and you start to feel guilty. I dated someone who in the beginning of the relationship told me that he did not want to date women who have been in come from single parent homes because they know it's okay to leave. You know what I mean? And I felt like he would use that against me when I was like, okay, I know it's time for this relationship to end, and he's like, oh, it's just so easy for you to give up. And it messed with my head because I'm like, am I just giving up? But I knew that I'm not in a good relationship. This is not a good place to be. And it messed with my head for a while. But God is good. You feel guilty. Another thing is your sense of self is blurred. Exactly, like what I was just saying. I know this is wrong. I know that what I'm feeling is, I know what I'm feeling, but this person is telling me something different. So, you know what I mean? Now it becomes a battle between what you know and what you feel and what this person is telling you. You know, you begin to walk on eggshells around this person because you just never know how they might react. And the last one is to question your mental health, right? Gosh, I remember telling this person that, like, you are not good for my mental health. It's the gaslighting. You know what I mean? It's making me seem crazy. It's telling me something, and then it's like, oh, I don't recall. And I'm like, no, we talked about this. You know this very clearly that we had this conversation. And they're like, nope, I don't know what you're talking about. And then suddenly you're like, am I crazy? Am I actually crazy? You know, and they want that. They want to mess with your head, with your reality. And so it's so important to know the signs and to be aware of your emotions. You know what I mean? When you meet someone who is a manipulator, don't let them bring out whatever it is that they're trying to rile you up. You know, remain calm. Always remain calm. Whew. And Lord knows it's not easy, right? And then avoid personalizing. A manipulator, obviously, it's not about you. It's not about you. So just like try and get away from that person as soon as you can and just go, right? Respect your boundaries and tell someone you trust. I cannot emphasize on this enough. Remember when I told you that sometimes they tell you don't tell other people. They don't want you to tell other people when they're manipulating you and they've put you in this bubble because they don't want someone to snap you out of it, right? So when you have these emotions, when you're thinking these things and you start to doubt yourself, have someone that you talk to, that you have a listening board, right? I'm so thankful that I do have friends that I can always go and talk to, and they will always bring me back to, like, okay, girl, do you hear yourself? You know what I mean? And I do that to them, like, you know, we're there for each other, just so that you don't find yourself in a place that you can't get out of and you've lost time and you cannot get it back. So that's it. I hope you've learned something today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Keep it locked.